You've been hypnotized before, not by me, but by your society, your parents, and your past. The question is, who wrote your story? Let me ask you a question that could change your life. Who told you that you are not enough? Because that belief did not start with you. You were born whole, you were born loved, you were born worthy. And then someone's words, a moment of shame, a rejection, an abandonment, you didn't just hear it, you believed it. And you can believe in a lie so much that it becomes your truth. But here's the good news. What was installed then can be uninstalled. And in this episode, we'll explore how hypnotherapy helps you break free from the lies that have run your life and reconnect with the truth that has been buried under years of mental noise. Can I tell you the truth? Most of your identity, my identity, our identity was unconsciously programmed. Let that sink in for a moment. Most of it was programmed. You do not become what you want, you become what you believe, Oprah Winfrey says. From the time you were born, we were born. Even before we had language, our minds were like sponges that were absorbing not just what people said to us, but how they looked at us, how they treated us, what they didn't say, what they said, what they celebrated, what they rejected. And your subconscious mind was forming answers to these questions. When I say your, I'm saying our. Questions like, am I safe? Am I wanted? Am I enough? Am I lovable? And based on those early moments, you began forming an identity. That identity wasn't your truth, but it was a story you were told about yourself and you repeated to yourself over and over again. Why this lie sticks so deeply, you're asking? I'll tell you. Your subconscious mind is like a sponge, especially between the ages of 0 and 7. Mine, and I'm talking about us, right? We didn't analyze information, we just absorbed it. We didn't say, oh, maybe dad is projecting his stress or his anger or his trauma. We said, if daddy is angry, I must be the problem. That's what we said. And that is where core identity beliefs were formed, not by facts, but by repetition and emotion. Repetition and emotion. Now think of a little girl who's always called too much, you talk too much, you are too much. Or the boy who's told real men don't cry. Or the quiet child that is labeled lazy or sensitive. You've been there, we've all been there. It doesn't matter how gifted, kind, or creative they are. If they are told enough times that something is wrong with them, they start living as if it's true. And that's what happened to us all. That's how we all have ended up as adults who were successful but secretly unworthy, loved but afraid of abandonment, confident on stage but collapsing on the inside. That's my story. What about you? Hypnotherapy, however, was the tool that I used to unlearn the lies. And the great news is, if you were programmed, you can be reprogrammed. Yes, that's the great news. And that's what I was excited about in the beginning, because this is where hypnotherapy becomes revolutionary. Not by changing you, but by helping you remember who you were before the lies. And most times is that we don't either know who we are or we don't remember who we are. And hypnotherapy in a deeply relaxed state allows you go inward. You bypass the critical mind and access the subconscious, where all your identity lies and lives, whether you know it or believe it or like it. And the truth in this process, you can uncover where the beliefs started. You can separate the lies from the truth. You can reclaim that voice that was silenced and install a new truth that feels empowered and not punishing, because a lot of times we punish ourselves. I'll share a client of mine, Chika, and that's not her real name. The girl called stubborn. Who can relate? Chika was brilliant, joyful, woman in her 30s. Underneath the smile, however, she always felt unworthy and unseen. Every compliment made her squirm. She didn't believe it. Every conflict made her collapse. She would say, "There's just something wrong with me. I don't know what it is, but I feel unlovable. I feel unworthy." Those were the words that she used. During a session with her, we gently traveled back through memory, and she entered a peaceful trance and visited a scene from age 5. I told you that I went back to my mother's womb. This was age 5. Her mother was trying to braid her hair, and she squirmed, she cried. She didn't want to sit still. At 5, come on. Maybe it was even painful. Her mother slapped her arm and said sharply to her, "You are such a stubborn child. Nobody will ever want to deal with you." And just like that, Chika's identity was written. Stubborn. Nobody will ever want to deal with you. From that moment, her little mind filed it away. She filed it away as stubborn equals bad. Expressing myself equals rejection. I am unlovable. And she has lived under that label for over 25 years. But in that session, something broke. She cried. She forgave. She hugged that little girl in her mind and whispered to her, "You weren't stubborn. You were spirited. You were overwhelmed. You were 5 years old. And you were lovable then, just like you are lovable now." And like that, the whisper of shame turned into a roar of self-love. And I'm smiling because this is exactly how I felt as well when I went through my session. I felt empowered. Now I want you to imagine being born with a clean mirror. So you're a clean mirror. Imagine yourself like that crystal clear reflection of your worth. You're plain, beautiful, fantastic, phenomenal. And then as life happens, people start to write on your mirror. Too much with their lipsticks. Not enough. Ugly. Not yellow enough. Not tall enough. Not short enough. Lazy. Stubborn. Difficult. Unworthy. You start to see yourself through the ink and through the stories and not through the truth. Hypnotherapy doesn't just polish the mirror. It helps you erase what was never yours, because the truth is it was never yours. And with this, you're able to see yourself again. Ain't that cool? The truth that sets you free, however, that most important thing a human being can ever say to themselves is the belief is not mine anymore. Can you say that to yourself today? That belief is no longer mine. And the most freeing thing a soul can ever feel is, I am not the label they gave me. I am who I choose to be now. Can you say that also to yourself? I am who I choose to be now. Because it's a choice. So hypnotherapy, once again, accesses deep relaxation that opens the door to the subconscious mind. It works on your identity. You find the original event or emotion that planted the belief, and then you reframe it. You bring the truth, you bring compassion, and you bring clarity to that story, the root cause, and then you install, which is how you speak the new truth to your subconscious mind in such a powerful, embodied way. And then you anchor it in. You return to walking in this and waking in this new life with new emotional pathways and with a different nervous system response. Guys, your identity is not fixed. It evolves. With truth, you were programmed unconsciously. And the good news is that you can reprogram yourself intentionally. You were labeled accidentally, You can reframe yourself now deliberately. That is in your own hands. I want you to do something for me. Write down 3 limiting beliefs that you've internalized. I'm not enough. I'm not tall enough. It's not available for me. And trace back where they began. And then write the truth that replaces it. Just play some nice soft music and just ask yourself, what are the words that I use on myself? Oh, I cannot speak in public. That's one of the biggest phobias that people have actually in the world. Speaking in public. Why? Where did it begin? What happened? What can I change it from? I was this, but I am now this. I was afraid to speak in public, but I choose now to stand in front of people boldly and know that the words that come out of my mouth will be words that would edify people, empower people, and impact their lives. Just like that. And an affirmation that you can use is, I was never broken. I was just believing a borrowed story. And because it was borrowed, you can throw it away. You're the one that borrowed it, so you're the one that can throw it away and then choose to rewrite your story. Good news is that we're all writers. That's the best news. We are all writers. We're all creators. If you don't like the story that is showing up for you right now, Control-Alt-Delete and start all over again. When you wake up, they say, is when your morning starts. So your story can start again today. If I can do it, I promise you, you too can. Now, if you can't do it alone, which is most likely because you cannot take yourself out of something you put yourself into, send me a DM and just say, I need to talk. And if you look in the description below, you'll see the links that you can click on that will lead you directly to me, so that we can go a little bit deeper and help you remove all those stories that you've told yourself and wash it clean, because everything that you came into this world with as a baby is still there intact, just waiting for those borrowed beliefs, stories, clay to be removed. Don't forget also to like this video, subscribe, and share me with others so that you're all growing together in your community. Okay? Love and light.